So I've been playing with this HP Microserver Gen10 a little bit, and it's time to do something a little different. And the current build's fairly sane. It has four 4TB drives in it, along with a boot SSD, which I think is just a 240 gig random drive. Oh, no, it's 32 gig drive, I forgot. Nothing special though. But I think it's time to take it to the next level. So the bummer with this thing is it only supports SATA drives. Officially it only supports 4TB SATA drives. I don't have anything bigger than that. So I have some 14TB SAS drives and a RAID controller. And the question is, what will this do if I upgrade it and take it to the next level? Now, as far as I know, the cable that this unit comes with is just a normal SAS cable, because internally, as you can see, it has SAS ports. Now, it doesn't have, if you look real close, you might not be able to see that with the lighting, it doesn't have the electrical connections. Well, can't focus. It doesn't have the electrical connections for the little metal middle tab. So on the top side of this drive, there's some pins. But from what I've been dealing with the Sliger NAS, I don't know if those are necessary. But out of the abundance of caution, I'm probably just going to start with one drive, just in case. But question is, I'm going to do it the hard way, I think. I don't think there's enough clearance. I'm going to have to pull the motherboard out of this, unfortunately. Which means I have to disconnect everything connected to it. There we go. And now, remove the one screw that holds the board in. Unfortunately, I don't have a low profile support bracket for this, so it's just going to dangle loose in there. Not in frame, but there we go. Got the motherboard tray out. And this is going in the X8 slot. See if it clears. Ooh, it clears. Oops, just bashed my hard drive over there. Oh my. Barely got enough room too for the connector. So, don't like the bending. I don't know if this is the best idea. I'm trying to do this a little closer to my face so I can see what I'm doing. I got stuff in my way. I think I'm going to use the top port. I think that'll put a little bit less stress on the connector. Don't have any reason to believe this will damage the drive, because there's really no good reason why it should. But we will find out. If I do damage this drive, it's going to be really sad though, because this used to be a $90 drive, $90.95, and I think now it's like $150. But I'll do a power on test first, just to see if anything explodes. Catch it on video, you know. Gotta show off the flames. Oh no! There we go. Accidentally bent the little piece of plastic. Didn't damage it, just kind of twisted it more than anything else. No angry beeps. And let's see, I'm gonna power cycle it because the monitor's not hooked up when I first turn it on. Oh, the monitor's being a butt. It's not auto-detecting. Oh, there we go. Don't mind the mess. Oh, I didn't install the fan. That would be a problem. There we go. Yeah, I don't care. Power fault detected. Well, I gotta do some tinkering though and see if this will play nice with those drives. So I'll be back. Well, took a little bit of tinkering, mostly in the software side of things, to get TrueNAS installed, but got all 4 of those 14 terabyte drives in there. I did mess up and I accidentally selected RAID Z2 because I was kind of autopiloting it, but let's see here. There we go. Got 24.54 terabytes of storage with 2 drives of redundancy. I could have up to 48 terabytes with this current build, which is kind of cool. But yeah, oh well. Definitely impressive though, because this officially only supports up to 16 terabytes. I don't have bigger drives to verify whether that's true or not. But if you wanted to get really fancy, I've determined that you can put SAS drives in this with the RAID controller. So the next thing I'm going to do is some power tests and kind of see how much power this draws doing basic tasks like gigabit file transfers. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So power draw on this has been interesting. I ran my usual little gigabit file transfer test with 40 gigabytes of files, and this draws a lot more power than I was expecting it to, although it does have 4 spinning drives in it. So with just SATA only, the microserver was pulling 31 watts on idle and then 48 watts on average during transfers, versus SAS, it was pulling 50 watts idle and then 61.6 watts was the average I got on transfers. So SAS drives are definitely more power hungry, and apparently let's see, what's the difference? It's about 20 watts more almost, whether it's idle or on writes. Now granted, some of that is the RAID controller, of course, that's drawing additional power as well, but I would suspect a lot of that comes out in the drives. It might also be because the SATA drives are 4 terabyte and the SAS drives are 14. I'm sure there's a lot of factors in play, but yeah, a lot more power hungry than the little HP mini, or well, not mini, HP small form factor build I did recently, so interesting. So I didn't think to do it with the SATA drive config, but I did look at the logs for the SAS drives in this build, and temperature wise seems like they're doing okay. This hasn't been on the longest amount of time. Let's see if I can zoom that out a little bit. Looks like averaging around 30 degrees Celsius for the drives, and that's pretty consistent across the board, I believe. Yeah. So enough airflow. I don't know how the H310 is doing temperature wise, since I don't think there's a way to see that in TrueNAS. I would say that the H310 is probably going to need a way to cool it, a fan of some sort. You either could scavenge fan power from the SATA power up above where the solid state drive is, Otherwise, you could do something a little janky and power a 5-volt fan off one of the USB ports. But overall, an interesting build. I'm impressed on how well it worked. I wasn't sure if there'd be any weird roadblocks or anything, but as far as I can tell, the server's quite capable. Just not as powerful as something custom built, but that'll be a different video, I think. So hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.